Hey Marshall, just taking a look at some of your files here. They look pretty good. I think you've made some good improvements. I do like the graphics that you've come up with. But I would say probably this graphic and this graphic might make a little more sense in Illustrator as a vector file. If I look at these are PNG files. So I think you probably maybe, not sure what you, okay, you did put this in. I would say this would make more sense to do in Illustrator just because it's a one-page document. It doesn't have, it's not like a booklet or something with multiple pages. It's easy enough to just bring this in to Illustrator. And one thing about it too is it would become vector. So, I mean, let's just quickly, I'll show you how to do this. I'm just going to do this. Okay, so you would just go into InDesign, Command C, and then paste it here, Command V. Okay, I lost a lot of the things. Okay, one thing, a quicker way to do this, honestly, would probably be like a file export out of InDesign, and I'll export out a JPEG file of this. I'm just going to do it on my desktop. So I'm going to export out a JPEG. It's going to be a high res. Resolution should be at 300. We can make it CMYK color space. I don't think it really matters at this stage because we're just going to use this to trace in Illustrator. So let's say I have an AI document set up here. I have two artboards. I probably only need one, but I'll just use the first artboard here. Click on that. This is a print document. It's actually one of Michaela's, but I think it's set up maybe like it's just a square. So file place, and we'll bring that JPEG in that we made. It's on our desktop. I just, this is just a JPEG that we're going to use to trace with, so I don't really need to save it anywhere necessarily. And then image trace, if you are in Window Workspace Essentials Classic in Illustrator, you should be able to just do an image trace and then black and white logo. And there it is. And then we can push expand. Okay. And if you zoom in, you'll see that it has anchor points now in Illustrator, that it's a vector file. We could take this and move it over. We can see there is some white that we probably don't want in the graphic, so we can just grab, click off of it completely and then grab the white arrow tool and then select the white. Maybe you want to make the white black, so you might want to like fill that in to make it more, I don't know, a little bit more bold. So we could just grab that with the black arrow tool now, move it back over since we got rid of all of the white. Maybe size that up a little bit. And if you, oops, Command Z, I push Shift when you're sizing things up in Illustrator. Otherwise it becomes goofy. And then I'm going to make another one just to keep it the same way that you had it before. I'm going to use the white arrow tool, click off, click back on just the graphic, and actually I will just take this fill color out just like you had it in your first graphic. This might be a little bit of a fine line. You could potentially grab the black with the white arrow tool if you can get it selected. And you could put a stroke on that to make it thicker as well. If you want to make it thicker, and you could change the stroke size to kind of beef it up a little bit if necessary. That might be helpful in this situation with this particular graphic to make the stroke larger. So you could have a two artboard Illustrator document if you wanted to, save this as, something that makes sense. Montana 406, mountain graphic. But this is really something that you should probably make in Illustrator and not InDesign. So just because it's more of a logo or graphic than it is like a booklet or a layout for the most part. Okay, and then let's go back in here. I mean, technically you can use InDesign for this. It's just probably better not to. So this link is a PNG. You've embedded it, looks like, maybe. Unembed. I'll unembed it. It says I was missing the files, but we'll see. We'll see if we can make this work. So just Command C this. Let's see if we can make this work in Illustrator. File, new, document. We might have to do like, I'm going to make it 5 by 5 inches maybe. CMYK, high resolution, create that, and then let's see how the bean comes in. The bean's not bad. The text is not good, so you might have to redo the text in Illustrator. It just defaulted to Myriad, whereas I think you used a different one in here. For some reason, I don't understand why. Bubble Boy 2, okay. One thing that you could do is outline the text. You can do it in InDesign as well. If you go to Type, Create Outlines, you can outline your text, and then no one would ever be missing your text from this file, at least. You also gave me a PNG, I believe, of this. And in the PNG file, you wouldn't be missing the fonts, but if you had a PDF or any other type of vector file, you might the fonts might actually drop out. I don't think I have that font. I don't know why it's showing up in InDesign and not in Illustrator, but so we could just do, you know, isolate mask, Command Z. This is something that you could just set up in Illustrator as well. So I'm trying to get this so I can trace it, this coffee bean. You probably have a vector file of this on your iPad. So if I go to Object, Expand, sometimes that helps, but isolate mask, release mask. I don't know why it's saying that, but you could export out like an EPS file or an AI file from your document that you made this in. I think you did on your iPad. And then bring it into Illustrator and make it in Illustrator because it would make more sense. It's almost like a logo, so it'd make more sense in Illustrator, honestly. And also don't forget to outline your fonts. Even in Illustrator, it's pretty much a similar process. You go to Type, Create Outlines, and that will create outlines of your text. And you can see the anchor points. It's vector now. It's a shape. It's no longer an editable text once you create those outlines, but it is something that you'll need to do to the text. I would say the one thing that you know, like I like all of these designs, but this one it is good. You did it in the correct design software. Okay, so I did talk about helping you out with this text. So let's maybe try to like use our full canvas up here. I would actually probably move down this graphic to be kind of in the middle because you do have a full full thing here. So and then we can actually move this stuff down. Oops, not that stuff. The text down as well, a little bit too, just because it's like, let's use up this whole area. And one thing we could do to use up this area, especially if this is the size that you need to go with, you could put this on 2 lines pretty easily, and I would actually make it quite a bit bigger, just because of the hierarchy of information. You know, this is the title of your piece, or of this particular graphic, so let's make that bigger. We could even put this, you know, the graphic next, and then move all of this stuff down. And we're still using up the whole thing. Let's try to get this on 1 line, just because it just makes more sense to get it on 1 line if we can. Let's see, is there a return here? Okay. And we want to make this bold, so let's make that bold. And let's make this like semi-bold, or actually, maybe we'll leave it the same. And then the cup, I would say, this probably should be maybe around the same text as, so I'm going to do the eyedropper tool, select region, oops, Command Z, sorry. Let's click off of everything. Let's not have anything selected. Let's get the eyedropper tool. It might be underneath the color theme tool. It is under the color theme tool. Let's click on region, and then just click and drag over the cup, and you'll get the same text on that. What is this? Montserrat regular. Okay, so this does not look like Montserrat. So let's change this to Montserrat regular. So I have that highlighted, and I can also just sample this way. So maybe all of this could be, I'm going to capitalize cup, and then I am going to do this. So I removed the return to get it on less lines, and I want to just, I'm going to size this down to get it on 3 lines. And then I think I'm just going to make this maybe a semi-bold. Let's see, how big is that? So this is 48. Okay, so this is semi-bold. Maybe we could make this a black, just to make it seem more, actually let's make this whole thing black, or even maybe what, extra bold. Black almost looks blurry because it's so thick. Maybe it's a little, I would say maybe black. Okay, and let's make all this quite a bit smaller actually. What size is this? So this is 44 point text. That's actually still pretty big. So let's bring this down to like 40, or maybe even smaller than that. And I'm going to put another, I know that there's already a space here, but I'm going to put another one in and maybe put a return here. So something like this makes a little bit more sense, and we still have this at 40 points or 39 points. This is the same point size as this. This is larger. So this is the largest, this is the next largest, this is the third largest. And this is semi-bold, this is bold, and this is black, and this is bold, but it's so big that it definitely pops off more. I would say like this makes a little bit more visual sense considering the hierarchy of information. It's a good way to organize the text. So anyway, that's all I have for right now. I would say other than that, this is looking pretty good. I almost wonder if this wouldn't be better even all the way down here so that you can really see you know, the region a little bit better, the map a little bit better. Anyway, talk to you later.